Today begins our rampage of the high seas as we tackle the new Naval questline that came with the Warsales DLC for Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord. There have been plenty of changes to these quests in all the patches since release day, and I wanted to see how it all turned out. Our episode today begins just after saving Gunnar and Ostican, being betrayed by Purig, and learning how to steer a ship. Currently, we are on our way to Hvalvik to meet up with some Vlandian merchants who the Sea Hounds are going to rob. So we just set sail from Ostican, and we are off looking for Sea Hounds or something. The great thing about these missions is that you actually can't fail them and you get a ship and a crew. So if you see something like these sea raiders, you can just attack them and hope for the best. Before I actually got started with the mission, I wanted a warm-up fight. So I chose the sea raiders to just see how the crew handled, how the ship worked. I'm super new to all this, so I just needed a practice run. Too often as I'm sailing, I get caught looking at the water, and I could probably just sail across Calradia in real time and not be bothered by it. The Sea Raiders have more ships, but we still have a numerical advantage, so we have one really strong crew, and they are split into 3. So I head for the closest ship and grapple it, hoping to take it out before the other 2 can come back him up. You can see right here that I fully expected them to ram us and then sandwich us, but we actually had enough time to clear out this deck before there was even a problem. At this point in the game, I'm only level 6. I'm not some high-level, fully geared out ass-kicker quite yet. So I do these fights just like I would any other land battle, where I just grab all of my guys around me and I circle around and fight in just one massive group. Once you're boarding, you can switch between the follow me and charge command to kind of manually move your men where you need them to be, since you can't just tell them where to go like on an actual battlefield. Just like everything else in Bannerlord, there's no recommended level for these quests, so when I first started, I wasn't even sure if I could complete this. I wanted to make sure that this deck was cleared, so I left my men to finish up the job while I moved into the next position, 2 boats over now, to get ready to tackle the last Sea Raider ship. For a brief second, I actually got lost and I wasn't sure which ship was mine until I realized it was probably the one that didn't have all the bodies on it. I told all my men to come and defend the ship, but right now it was just me, so I decided to throw the grappling hook myself to try to start the next boarding action and finish this fight. And I guess it worked, because one grappling hook was all it took to summon a magical rope bridge onto the final ship. After a little bit more hacking and slashing my way aboard the final ship, it was all over. It's always hard at the start of a new game, and I'm just trying to figure out where to stand and how to help. And just like that, I was officially 1-0 in naval combat. We took some losses, but I was still happy with the result. After the battle, I kind of took everything just out of habit. I'm not sure if picking up prisoners gives you any roguery or if it's just the loot. But you don't actually have a chance to sell any prisoners in the story mode, because during these missions, if you stop at a port, it will just bring you back to Ostican, back to where you restarted. It's kind of like its separate own little instance, so you can't use the story mode for free boat travel. I won, I felt good about myself, but looking at how much health I had left, I probably should have either not done that or gone and restarted. I should have just turned around, restarted the quest, and then came here, keeping all my levels and cheesed the system, but that's not really how I play. Kind of just take it as it comes, and so I decided to go for it.
Ahoy! Who are you? And what's your purpose?
We are here making war against the Sea Hounds, who we believe have targeted your ship.
If that's the case, then we're glad to have you around. Back in Hvalvik port, we heard rumors of these pirates, and we were none too pleased that we had to venture out alone like this. Tell me then, are you asking anything for your services?
Merely a chance to fight those slaving bastards.
Very well. Should we arrive safely, we will happily show our gratitude with a contribution to your cause. The wind is brisk and the waves are choppy, so try not to venture too far away. May the heavens protect us from pirates and the perils of the sea.
Blatantly ignoring the Vlandian Frenchman, I know that our ship is actually faster than his, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Probably all the cargo he's carrying. I don't know. So if you want to maximize the loot for this stage of the game, you actually want to break away and pick off the Sea Hounds before they engage the trading cog. This way you don't have to share any of the loot with your quasi-useless French ally. Compared to the Sea Raider battle, this one should be pretty easy. It's only one ship, but I'm all banged up and currently at 20% health. So this one is going to be all on the crew. A little bit of micromanaging. I am definitely not going to engage too hard in this one. That was a fine example of how not to board a ship. I was coming in way too fast with my sails picking up far too much wind. But I decided that instead I was going to go for what will go down in history as the longest grapple ever. I seriously have no idea how they managed to throw a grappling hook that far, never mind like 5 of them. While our ships are being drawn together, I let loose with some javelins and try to get some free throwing skill points. Throwing is actually one of my favorite skills in Bannerlord, and if I'm going to be the most feared Nord in all of Calradia, I'm going to take whatever chance I can get for some target practice. Sadly, our ship isn't outfitted with any ammo barrels, so it looks like all I can do is wait for the boarding action and try to stay out of the way. It seemed like it was going to take forever to get the fight started in these rough seas, but if you watch, a massive wave actually lifts and pulls us right into position, which I thought was pretty cool.
Engage the enemy!
Remember a minute ago when I said I was going to stand back and watch the men fight for this one? Yeah, me neither. My lust for battle overrides any common sense or tactical finesse. And so not only do I decide to jump into the fray, but I even bring out my two-handed axe. You can see how well that turns out. Sometimes I end up face down in the dirt, and sometimes I end up bathed in the blood of my enemies. It is both stupid and epic in the most enjoyable of ways. But either way, we won, and I got some new throwing axes, so no regrets. And because we fought it all by ourselves without letting the traitors get attacked first, we get to keep all the rewards. Now we just need to finish this escort mission, and then we have a bunch of loot to sell and some gear to equip on my companions that are waiting for me there. It kinda sucks that you can't bring the companions on these missions, but overall, these quests are a great way to start the game with a lot of gold and renown for all the fights you have to do. Before we get into the next fight and see how long I last until getting knocked down again, I get to upgrade my throwing skill. Like a true Nord, I am going to be focusing on throwing axes, so I want even more damage against shields. Now, for the second battle during this quest, it won't matter if you engage first, as this one is a scripted event.
Look, there's 2 of them giving chase. We'll have to take one down quickly, and hope the Vlandians can hold the other off until we reach them.
Time to put what little skills I've gained so far to the test and see if we can't save this merchant before he's overrun. What we are going to want to do is target that ship with the 30 men aboard and take it out first. That way, even if we are a bit slow to help with the second ship, the Vlandians should be able to hold them off until we get there. I jumped the gun a bit, giving the command to board here, and we are lashing up bow to bow instead of alongsides. This creates a bottleneck that isn't ideal for my melee heavy crew. Maybe if I had more archers or skilled skirmishers this could work, but instead it just becomes a bit of a slog as we fight on one tiny little rope bridge. Like I said, I'm still learning. I even managed to contain myself and stay back with my low HP, so we're just gonna skip ahead for this part. That took a lot longer than I would have liked. We gotta cut ourselves free and race to catch that second Sea Hound vessel. Alright, broke free. Now we have to steer hard to port to catch the wind and save those Vlandians. There they are. If I can keep this speed and line up my shot, we should be able to intercept them just in time. I did a little better that time, managed to get 2 rope bridges across. And that bridge is just right there. Battle and glory are on the other side. I know I should stay back, but I forget I don't have a weapon equipped, grab my great axe, and then block a stab with the shield on my back. So I just start swinging like a madman and hope for the best.
And thank you. Those Sea Hound vessels would have torn us to pieces. You came just in time. We would still wish to show you our gratitude. I took a collection among the men whose lives you saved today. We wish to offer you a barrel of oil and a bundle of ivory. These are the rewards of our labor over the past months. But they would mean nothing to us if our ship were seized by pirates.
So there we go. The merchants are safe, we got some nice loot for our trouble, and I didn't die after charging into battle with 5% health. Even though I don't get to keep them, I'm still upgrading any troops for the leadership XP. And as a general rule of thumb, in any RPG, when I'm doing an escort quest, I always let them go first. After each mission, you can easily exit their little story mode to heal up and deal with any upgrades and treasure. It does unequip anybody you've assigned to any of your party roles, so you'll have to reassign those. In this case, I'm going to put Scylla back as my surgeon so that she can make me heal faster while I head to the shops and deal with inventory things. To make this intermission part fast between fights, I always lock the items I want to keep, like any smithing supplies, food, eventually banners. That way, when I take another break, I can just quick sell everything with the R2 button, and it saves me a bunch of time. Before I sell everything, however, I always make sure to share with my clan members. I don't want them falling behind on gear because it's bad enough I can't bring them with me to get any levels. Nothing too noteworthy, minor armor upgrades, making sure they don't have any ripped or damaged stuff. Scylla of the River got a couple things, and I'm not sure what Mule Wavebreaker is going to focus on quite yet, so I'm just equipping him with some axes and throwing weapons. Maybe he'll be a skirmisher. I'm not sure. I haven't even used him in battle yet. Since I'm stuck waiting in town until I'm all healed up, that's when I like to work on my smithing. I don't really do any power leveling. As we get rolling in this series, this stage is going to get more involved, but for right now, I just make charcoal and break things down. Then I lock the smithing supplies before I forget, and check the town for hardwood every morning until my health is back up. If you're leveling like this in your own game, break down the weapons that give any hardwood first. Then you can go back between making charcoal and smelting until you're all done.
Word spread fast among sailors. We seem to have made a bit of a name for ourselves with that victory off of Hvalvík. I have someone for you to meet.
So, you are the captain who trashed those so-called sea hounds up north. I have a proposal that I hope would be of interest to a man such as you. I am Lahar, of Kuyaz on the Jade Sea. I am here because one of the great families of our city has been having some troubles. The head of one branch, the Lady Fahda, has quarreled over her inheritance with her uncles. The elders of the town backed the uncles, so she took to the sea with her retainers and vowed to ravage their shipping.
What does this have to do with our war against the Sea Hounds?
The Lady Fahda has reportedly joined up with these Sea Hounds, as pirates often band together. She has been prowling about the Gulf of Charas, taking Kuyazi vessels. You wish to continue hunting Sea Hounds, do you not? Those would be good waters in which to hunt, and if you are going there, I would like to come with you and lend my assistance.
And just how formidable is this woman?
The lady is good at her craft. Fahda has been sailing since she was a child. She always wears a sailor's cap, and underneath she is as bold as an egg. She persuaded her late father to take her to sea, so the story goes, by cutting off all of her long shining hair, lest it catch in the rigging. She has taken several Kuyazi ships, and I would be reluctant to fight her alone.
Fahda also traffics in captives with the Sea Hounds. She may have bought or held your sister at some point, or if not, at least she may be able to tell us more about the Sea Hounds' trade in slaves.
And what are you going to bring on our hunt?
I have my loyal crew and the swift Liburna, outfitted with a ram, which I think you might put to good purpose. It would be especially useful if we encounter any slow but powerful ships that would be costly to take by boarding.
And now our next quest takes us to the southern seas. And on the way you'll see little pop-ups from Gunnar that says things like, "We're coming up on the mouth of the Trand. You can see the water change color, that rich soil washing miles out to sea. Our forefathers knew it as the gateway to the lands round Pravend, the finest raiding a warrior could want. Then the Vlandians came and decided not to bother with the cramped, cold ships. They'd sit in a castle and raid the lands around them, except they called it ruling, not raiding." At first that sounds like just a random little story, but what I think it's supposed to do is establish the Nords as being here, at least in some form, for like hundreds of years. Because he's talking about when the Vlandians first settled in castles, not just like recent history. Anyway, I like the lore of Bannerlord, even if it just shows bits and it's incredibly hard to find. But anyway, here we are at the mission. Let's jump into it.
It looks like her ship took a lot of damage. Her crew must not have furled the sails properly before the winds hit. And now she's just limping along. Sink her!
Okay, so we've got our two ships, and this one that I'm captaining has a big ram attached to it. And what you're going to want to do is take out Fahda in her crippled ship first. Right at the start here, this is all about picking up speed, catching the wind, and lining up your shot. You want to aim for the exact middle of the ship.
Good. You dealt her ship a mortal wound. It's going down. Now.
We got her down on the first hit, and then we just roll off and keep the momentum going and use this ram to take out as many ships as we can. We are just going to roll over this guy. Just dead. Everybody dies. Rolled right over. And then I want to go hard to the left. And not controller, there is no diagonal movement, and it is just a straight left direction to try to get this corner and this huge ship to turn as hard as I can. Also make sure to furl the sails so that I don't lose any forward momentum. Try to get as much speed as I can for this other ship. And even though it said it was an ineffective ram, we still took out that ship. Now, in one big loop, we've taken out 3 ships, and we just have to board 1. Not necessarily the best for Mariner points, but it's going to get the job done. I also definitely didn't kill 2 people accidentally busting into a gunner's ship. So, whoops. And there we go. Mission complete. That is 1,000 times easier than it was when War Seals first came out. I've got a live stream if you want to go back and check that out, but it was a nightmare.
What have you done? Do you know who I am? I have allies who will unthread your entrails from your guts and hang you with them from your own yard arm. I am queen of these waters, you fools. And those who practice piracy here without my permission end up chum to attract the sharks.
My lady, I am not a pirate. Rather, I am a man who has done many services for families such as your own in Kuyaz. At present, I am working for your uncles. I do not know what they intend to do with you, although I do not expect that a town that lives on trade will deal leniently with piracy. Before we sail, however, I would like you to have a chat with my friend here. He wishes to know more about the Sea Hounds.
So, you are on contract to deliver me alive to Kuyaz, are you? I can tell you this then. My lineage goes back to the founding of that city. And if you spill so much as a drop of my blood, your own shall be drained from your body like that of a horsefish. As for the Sea Hounds, they are my allies and servants, and I shall not betray them to you. How much are my uncles paying you anyway? I have a chest of silver set aside for occasions such as this, and I suspect I could pay you more than they will. They are stingy men.
You will tell me all that you know about the Sea Hounds and their dealings in slaves.
Are you threatening me? You won't get a single coin from my uncles if you harm me.
Unlike Lahar here, we have not shed our blood today merely for a part share of a ransom, or to boost our standing with the merchants of Kuyaz. You are an ally of the Sea Hounds, and it serves us well to make an example of you. Your life is forfeit unless you tell us something we can use.
How do I know that telling you about the Sea Hounds will save my life?
If you speak the truth, you will live. So then Fahda explains that she doesn't have my sister, and that Purig is a leader of the Sea Hounds and is taking the slaves up north.
Purig? A leader among the Sea Hounds? I'll speak straight here. It gnaws at my gut to hear that he is prospering from his treachery.
He acts as though the Sea Hounds have already crowned him their king. He demanded that I hunt for captives here in the south and sell them to him, promising to pay me with a huge store of silver that some new partners of his, a vile-looking gang of Vlandian pirates, hope to steal from the merchants of Omor.
We should get more information on this Omor silver. If we can stop these Vlandians, it would deal a great blow to Purig. And we could possibly find out more about this northern anchorage, his captives, and maybe your sister.
So, that information is worth something to you, is it not? If we add in that ransom I mentioned, is it enough to buy my life and my freedom?
You know my preference, my friend. If I bring her back to Kuyas, I will ensure that you get some of the credit. But perhaps you prefer good cold silver to goodwill.
Return her to her uncles alive, as we agreed.
I accept your decision. Very well then.
And that's all for episode 2 of Rise of the North. If you like this video, hit the button at the bottom. If you want to watch more, you can subscribe to my channel for more videos like this and other guides and helpful tips. Otherwise, thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one.